you guys, we're back with another round of read-along chapters for this month's book of the month, which is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, you ready? December 29th, 1984. First, Griff's voice gone, then Hank's, then Steve's, now Lydia's. Ford, we read you, Joan says. Joan is now all Vanessa can hear, all that lies between her and isolation. With a hand that's not pressed to Griff's suit, Vanessa bangs on the side of the airlock, trying to get someone's attention and wake them up. The force of it pushes her backward. She rights herself. Lydia! She screams. Steve! Hank! Someone! The ghostly quiet of the shuttle overwhelms her. Suddenly, she becomes aware of her body floating in microgravity. The slowness, the absence of both feet on the ground, she has never felt the full scope of terror of floating the way she does in this moment, tethered to nothing, unable to move. Ford, the cabin pressure has returned to safe levels, and the airlock is fully pressurized. We want you to bring Griff out of the airlock. Vanessa closes her eyes. This is another thing she learned as a child, that the world beyond the edges of her eyelids can and will be a dangerous place. But she can hide from it for whole seconds at a time when she closes her eyes. So she stays there and breathes. In once, out once. When she opens her eyes again, she is surprised by the steadiness of her voice. Copy that, Houston. Preparing to enter the cabin. She takes her hand off Griff's stomach. It's no longer needed to protect him from the lack of pressure. And then she starts to open the hatch. Once it's opened, she begins to swim out of the hatch to the middeck with Griff in tow. She takes off both of their helmets. She can work her way out of the pants and the spacesuit, but it is hard to maneuver the torso piece without assistance. The suits are designed for crew members to assist each other when getting in and out. Vanessa begins to panic, claustrophobia setting in. She thrashes against the suit, which only makes it worse. She cannot lose control of herself right now. She counts her breath, and then she moves her shoulder in a way that feels unnatural, as if her collarbone might snap. But then she stops, because there, floating toward her, is Hank. His entire body is swollen. His face is mottled, his skin covered in a rash, so severe that for a moment she thinks it is blood. Oh, God. But she realizes the blood is under his skin. She wants to ask him if he's okay, but there's no doubt Hank is dead. She closes her eyes and screams, breaking herself out of the rest of the suit. She has never heard her voice do this. It is a raw, screeching sound. When she finally gets the suit over her shoulders, it catches against her forehead and scrapes the skin above her eye. But then she slithers out of it. She manages to remove Griff's suit, too, with somewhat less agony. Then she pulls down his cooling suit, exposing his chest and stomach so she can assess his injuries. The shrapnel did not break through his skin, but there is already visible bruising across his lower stomach, extending up into his chest. He must be bleeding internally. There is no way to know right now just how bad it is. She should have told him not to leave the airlock hatch open. One small shake of her head would have prevented this. She could not have stopped the leak. That would have happened no matter what, but she could have prevented the blow to his chest if only she hadn't gone along with his stupid fucking idea. Instead, he is floating in front of her, unconscious. Vanessa looks down to see Hank underneath her. She closes her eyes. Do not think of Donna pregnant this past summer. Do not think of the smile on Donna's face the night they announced they were engaged. Vanessa sees another pair of feet between the middeck and the flight deck. She moves toward them. When she gets to Steve, she holds in a yelp. He is lifeless, drifting, dead man's float. There are droplets of blood in the air around him, which he must have coughed up. She puts her hand to his neck and checks his pulse without an ounce of hope, confirming what she already knows. How can her heart sink in microgravity? But it does. She does not want to think of Helene and the girls. Her stomach turns as she imagines Apollo waiting by the door. She does not want to think of just how alone she herself will be in this world without him to guide her, in this ship, out in space, inside her own head. She inhales. Houston, this is Navigator. Astronauts Steve Hagen and Hank Redman are dead. John Griffin has suffered potentially critical internal injuries, but is breathing. Do you read? She can't fall down in microgravity, but the idea sounds so nice right now. To let go and land on her knees and throw herself onto the ground. Roger that, Joan says, her voice so gentle that Vanessa wants to cry. We read that Hagen and Redman have died. We have vitals on Griff. We believe Danes is alive as well. Please confirm. If Donna and Helene are listening in on the loop from their homes, Vanessa just told them that their husbands are dead. Her throat constricts and goes sour. She swallows hard. She looks to her left and then her right and then finally up. That's when she sees that Lydia is floating near the ceiling, one arm stretched out. Vanessa finds her way to her and places 2 fingers on her neck. Houston, I can confirm Lydia Danes is alive, Vanessa says. Copy that, navigator, Joan says, and then her tone almost breathless. Thank you. Vanessa looks past Lydia and sees where the hole was. She can barely stand to look at it. Such a fragile, cheap repair, and yet, if applied seconds earlier, might have saved them all. Houston, Danes found the leak and sealed it with a clipboard and duct tape. Joan is quiet for a moment. Vanessa is now hanging on her every word. Roger that, Joan says. Cabin pressure is now approaching 10.2 psi. We believe that with monitoring, we can keep it stable long enough for you to get everyone home. It was the last thing Lydia did before she passed out, Vanessa says. Yes, navigator, Joan says. That is our conclusion as well. It was Lydia, of all people, who had saved them, saved her. Vanessa laughs for a moment. The sound has a dark tinge to it, an uncontrolled terror. She knows that if she keeps laughing, it will be exactly like crying. It will take over her body, her horror shaking within her to get out, and she will not stop until it is far too late. She is teetering on the edge of mania, and it is so tempting to give in to it, to lose all touch with what is happening and let her mind leave her, but she can't. Lydia has the bends, Vanessa says. That is our estimation, yes, Joan says. How long does that give her? She needs treatment within 10 hours, Joan says. Griff may be sooner. We cannot be certain due to the internal nature of his injuries. But we are tracking his vitals and we are formulating a plan. We believe it is possible to have you home in as little as 3 revs. Did my face get red? I was like, what? This is crazy. What? Fall 1980. It was after 11 on Saturday night. Joan should have been in bed, but she could not tear her fingers away from the piano. After a long week of classes, her brain was fried. The lingo at NASA was going to kill her, especially the abbreviations. OMS, RCS, EVA, EMU, FIDO, GPCs. Joan was attentive and ready, but the terms were coming at her so fast that often it felt less like science and more like French. She needed a break. So instead of going out to a bar, she'd gone on a long run, come home, taken a shower, and sat down at her keyboard. She did not know how long she'd been at it, but she'd played so much and just kept playing. Tchaikovsky, Chopin, Shostakovich, and now Satie's Nocien No. 1. It was exactly what she needed. One of those moments when she forgot where she was or even who she was. It was what she had loved about the piano as a child, why she had kept with it even after deciding she would never try to become a professional. It let her mind leave her body, let her body speak for her. Everything else in Joan's life was thinking. But when she picked up that pencil to draw or put her hands on the cool keys, the thinking stopped. The knock at the door startled her. She yelped so high and so loud that she cringed to hear it. 2 possibilities flashed across her mind of who it might be. Neither good. Her neighbor, angry about the noise, or Griff. Joe? She heard through the door, just before she could unlock it. Vanessa. Hi, Joan said as she opened the door. You screamed so very loudly just now, Vanessa said at the doorway. It sounded so dainty and helpless. I worry you'll set women back centuries if any man hears it. Joan frowned. Thank you for your excellent notes on how I can be scared in a less vulnerable way. Vanessa smiled. Can I come in? Joan opened the door further, and Vanessa followed her into the room. What are you doing here? Nice to see you, too. Joan raised an eyebrow. I just dropped off Donna. She's drunk as a skunk. I was going to ask you if you'd check on her in the morning. Oh, Joan said. Of course I will. I wasn't even going to stop by. I assumed you'd be asleep, but then I could hear you playing when I passed your door. Is it that loud? Vanessa shook her head. You'd have to be walking by, hoping you were up to notice. And then she added, You're very good, by the way. Oh, thank you, Joan said. I'd just like to play to clear my mind, but I'm not anything to write home about. Are you doing that thing where you're like, oh, I'm not that good, and then I have to tell you that you're great? What? No, I don't do that. I'm competent at a lot of things, and I'm honest with myself about my talents, but I'm an amateur classical pianist. I don't practice enough to be superlative. I do it because I enjoy it. Vanessa hid her smile, the lopsided one. What's so funny? Joan asked. You have a very high standard, Vanessa said. That's all. Joan pursed her lips, trying not to frown or smile. Anyway, listen, I had a secondary reason for coming over here, Vanessa said. I'm listening. I need help with something, and you're sort of the only person that can help me. I guess I'm asking a favor. Are you nervous? I'm embarrassed, Vanessa said. What on earth is it? Vanessa laughed. It's actually not on earth. Joan shook her head and smiled. I'm not able to orient myself in the night sky as well as some of the others. Lydia can spot every constellation, and she's incredibly smug about it. But I'm having trouble recognizing them consistently, especially in a dark sky. Oh, okay. What can you spot? Well, I can find Polaris. And I have a handle on Vega, Deneb, and Altair, but I can always find north and south. But I'd love to feel more confident about the dimmer constellations. Well, then you've come to the right place. Of course I'll show you. Thank you, Vanessa said, her eyes warmer than Joan had ever seen them. You're an astronaut who doesn't recognize most of the stars, Joan said. That's pretty funny. I'm a pilot who applied to NASA because I want to fly out of the atmosphere, she said, and I'm willing to learn anything I have to in order to do it. Oh, okay, Joan said. I would love to teach you. Tomorrow night, we can head out of the city. I can even bring my telescope. Yeah, Vanessa said. Yeah, it'll be fun. So cute. Okay.